Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
Life at York High School is pretty crazy because there's always something going on. There are always activities happening within the student body or something that we're raising money for.
It's fun, you know? It has a great atmosphere. Seems to me that everyone gets along well. It's quite enjoyable, I'd say.
It was definitely different for me because I haven't always gone to York. I moved here, started my sophomore year, and instantly it was a lot different because I was used to Newport News schools. It was a lot more just like quiet in the hallways than it was coming from a 5A school. The curriculum was a lot different too. Where I was above at Minchville, I was just like average at York.
It's pretty fun once you get to know people and stuff. Like if you're sitting at a table by yourself, somebody's gonna come up and say hello, and not gonna just look at you like, oh, that guy's weird. They're gonna help you out, get you used to the school and stuff.
But everything is always active, which is really exciting, and it makes things not so boring or hard when we're in class.
I've noticed with the teachers, you know, they definitely push you more to work your hardest and, you know, just excel more academically.
Just something about it just sets it apart. I think it's its spirit, its involvement in the community, it's York.
I think the level of energy we bring, like during tug of war, it gets intense. And you know, like being a girl, I'm not as strong as like some of the football players on the team who are like just pulling so hard, and I'm just kind of like there holding the rope. We all really want to win the spirit stick. And it's just a big competition for that.
Last year we beat Gloucester. We called it the Battle of the Bridge, and I loved just driving past that bridge because it was so awesome. They were talking so much smack, and we ended up walking away with a W. So wrestling has its own memorable moments, like traveling with your team up to Roanoke, getting to spend 2 days in a wrestling tournament, and then you're going to remember that for a while.
In band, marching band, we went to Tennessee, and we had won Southern State Championship there. That was when I was a sophomore. So that was probably my most memorable moment. They always want to be the better band, and we hold ourselves to this higher standard so we can be better.
Playing Powder Puff, that's definitely been one of my favorites. And me and my best friend Lindsay, we always play and we try to get like numbers close to each other, and it's a fun experience.
My favorite moment at York High School was my first musical, specifically right before we went on for opening night, and we all stood in a circle in the drama room holding hands, and that was such a significant moment for me because it really made me feel like I was at home with the people I love, doing what I love. So I'll always remember that.
I live with my mom, my stepdad, my baby sister, and my 14-year-old brother. It's definitely different. I'm kind of like built-in babysitter, being the oldest at the house. Me and my brother, we have like a really close relationship. He's starting to get to that age where like he kind of is into the same things I am. And me and my mom are like, we're like best friends.
Life at home's great. I mean, I have a great family. They're very supportive of all my sports. I think I can only remember a handful of times when my parents didn't show up to a sporting event.
There you go, there you go!
And that's because they were supporting my sister who had another sporting event. I got 3 siblings, 2 older sisters and a younger one, so I'm the middle child and the only son. We have a family night every Sunday. We have popcorn and ice cream and watch a movie together.
I live with my mom, dad, my older brother, my dog. My older brother is disabled. He has some disabilities. So life's always kind of been a little different, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. We're very close. My dad's a musician, so there is always music. We are big music people. He has a band, and I was kind of raised on that.
My most memorable moment with my family is probably our beach week that we take every year. It's just a time that we come together as a family and just get to spend the whole week with each other, not having to worry about work or schoolwork, responsibilities, stuff like that. We just sit, relax, enjoy each other's company and presence.
My favorite moment with my family would probably be either my little sister's first birthday party or the one we had last year with the petting zoo in our backyard.
Well, when I was younger, when we used to live in Alaska, my dad had bought a four-wheeler for me, and I didn't even know. So, we walked into the garage, I saw his, and then I saw mine. And I was like, whoa, what is that? And I got so happy. Then we took it out, and we just rode, and we didn't stop. And he taught me all the nicks and tricks and stuff with it.
Actually, I swam the moat.
After graduation, I plan on going to school for musical theater for 4 years to get my Bachelor of Fine Arts, and then see where that takes me. Whether it's, New York or Chicago or Boston or something like that.
After graduating, I plan to go to college, maybe Bridgewater or Mary Baldwin, and study sports management and recreation, and as a major, and then study music as a minor.
I manage basketball. I've done that since my first year at York. It's been a really great experience, just being close with the guys, and they're always joking around, and it's just a fun environment.
I plan on attending CNU and majoring in business. It's my primary goal. I also plan on playing football for CNU. Hi there, thank you for calling Jimmy the Greeks. This is Jake speaking. How may I help you? Jimmy's a really good boss. I've always worked in the restaurant business that makes good money.
See you in about 15 to 20 minutes.
He was willing to take me on into his staff.
You guys need any refills?
He's treated me very well. He always calls me my boy. He makes me feel like family there, and that's something not a lot of places can offer.
Anything else you guys want? Take any of these plates out of your way?
Originally, I wanted to go to Longwood all 4 years and major in education because I want to be a second grade teacher. But now I'm starting to change my mind, and I think I'm going to do Thomas Nelson for 2 years, and then Longwood's still in my mind, but I'm leaning more towards JMU now.
She's like my bestest friend in the whole world. I could cry. She's every day when you walk through the door and I see Millie, she's always been my best friend. I'm very outdoorsy and I love nature and animals, but being outside alone with nature, something that my grandma and I used to do together a lot.
But their stomachs are very, very squishy.
That's very important to me.
This one, I don't know what's the matter with him. Maybe he has like a stomachache or something.
Is he alive?
Yeah, he's still alive.
Anybody else who's not my best friend doesn't know that I listen to symphonic orchestral music at all. I really enjoy everything about this, just the technicality of all the musicians and stuff. And the feelings they use to express themselves through music is really nice to hear and see.
I enjoy singing. I can sing opera. I can also do calligraphy. That's not a lot of people know that about me. Music was always just a part of my life, and calligraphy was born because I was just bored, and I was like, that's cool. I want to learn how to do that. So I self-taught myself everything.
I struggle with depression. And I know a lot of people probably don't think so because I'm like one of the loudest ones, I'm always laughing and talking. I've dealt with that for a while now. And this past summer I overdosed and I had to stay in the hospital for a while. I even got, this tattoo with my mom. Like, the semicolon is supposed to mean, like, an author could have chosen to end his sentence, but he wanted to keep it going.
Where's your emergency?
It's at the York High School. There's been a really bad accident.
Okay, York High School on Route 17.
There was an accident. There's people trapped in the car. People aren't breathing. There's everybody's screaming around the car. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. I'm not involved.
Okay, ma'am. Well, I have medics and law enforcement en route to you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Oh my God, Eden, wake up, please wake up, Eden, please wake up, Eden, please.
Jake.
How could you do this, Jordan? How could you do this? Look what you did, Eden.
What happened?
Look what you did. How could you do this? How could you do this? She's not awake. How could you do this?
No. I can't believe I did this. What is going on? No.
Wake up. Please wake up, Eden. Please, Jack. Oh, God. How could you do this? How could you? No, you knew that it was stupid. How could you do that?
It wasn't. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
No. You did, you're so stupid.
Is he okay?
No, how could you do this? How could you do this?
I'm so sorry.
No, you're not.
What happened?
You were stupid. And you ran into me and my friend.
Okay, do me a favor. Listen to me. If you're hurt, I need you to come over here and have a seat. Okay, just have a seat. Sit down for me, all right?
York County. One good gray.
So were you driving the vehicle?
Yes.
When's the last time you had something to drink?
20 minutes.
20 minutes ago?
Yeah.
So who's your friend?
That's Jake.
How much have you had to drink tonight?
3 or 4.
Three or four beers? Remember what happened when the accident?
I was texting my parents. I was coming home.
You were texting your parents?
Yeah, I was texting my dad. I was coming home.
So were you looking down at your phone?
Yeah.
And then what happened? You looked up?
I looked up and suddenly I got just began to an accident.
Okay. You're going to count out loud and you touch heel to toe.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2.
All right, the next test I'm going to have you do is going to be a one-leg stance.
2002, 2003,
Keep your hands
2004,
down by your side.
2000.
All right, sir. I believe you've been drinking a little bit more than what you think you have. All right. I'm going to offer you a test. It's a preliminary breath test, all right?
I'll tell you what.
At a .165. It's 2 times over the legal limit. Sir, turn around. Put your hands behind your back for me, please. You're under arrest. See what you did? Just for a little bit of drinking and driving.
Come in, York County license, I flipped it off.
Lean up against the car.
believe I did what I did. I can't believe this. I'm sorry.
Not fun. Yeah, it's not. He's only 17 years old, man. This is the worst part of our job. I can't stand doing this.
Never gets easy.
No, not at all, man. I can't imagine what they're about ready to go through. Not at all.
Hello, ma'am. My name is Deputy Pelangelo from York County Coastal Sheriff's Office, and this is Deputy Tracy.
Are you Mrs. Very? Can we come in and speak with you?
Which daughter? Was it Michaela?
Can we come inside?
Honey, come on in.
Mr. and Mrs. Very, your son Thomas was involved in a wreck today, and unfortunately he passed away. It was involving a DUI driver. I'm so sorry.
Jake?
Jake, yes ma'am.
When did it happen? Where?
It happened earlier today on Route 17. I'm so sorry.
Was he driving?
No ma'am, he was the passenger in the vehicle.
Can we see him? Are you sure it's Jake? I have to see him.
We don't think it's a good time to see him like this. I don't want this to be your lasting memory of your child.
What are we gonna tell his sisters? What are we gonna tell the girls?
If there's anything that we can do, please let us know. I'm willing to do anything to help you out as much as I can.
Not Jake. Not Jake. It's gotta be a mistake. Jake's just an all-around cool kid. He has always had a wicked, quick wit, sense of humor. You gotta keep up with him. He's an awesome kid.
Watched him jump off the pontoon boat with his best friend one time from the top deck. Did a belly flop. I think all of York County could hear it. Got up and did it again. That was kind of his spirit.
He's the goofiest, most embarrassing kid in the world. He doesn't care.
He dressed up as Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, he went to Goodwill and got a little skimpy white shirt, put a fan underneath him, a pair of his sister's high heels, red lipstick, did the whole quintessential Marilyn Monroe picture.
Jake's a student leader for the Appalachia Service Project. He corrals about 60 some odd high school students and college students, gets them into about 10 to 11 teams, and we go out, spend a week in the mountains working on homes, making them warmer, drier, safer.
Hey guys, good afternoon. Got an 18-year-old female involved in a high-speed NBC. She was struck on the passenger side. She was a restrained passenger. Upon our arrival, she was about a GCS of 7. She was moving all of the extremities prior to intubation.
Rib fractures also on her left. We have ecchymosis over both eyes. Left eye is 5 millimeters and fixed. Right eye is also 5 millimeters and fixed. Right now she's not having any spontaneous movements. Her pupils are fixed and dilated. She is not over-breathing the vents at this point. Oh man, we have bleeding and hemotympanum on the left side. We do have a bleeding on the right side. We have hemoperitoneum between the right kidney and the liver. Did she move anything when she was coming in? Did we see any spontaneous motion?
No, I didn't.
Because right now, if she's not breathing on her own, which she is not, she's clinically meeting brain death criteria. Mom? Hey, my name's Scott Reed. I'm one of the trauma surgeons here. This is your daughter, I take it? Yeah. Okay, well, I'm not sure how much information they've been able to give you, but she was involved in a pretty severe motor vehicle crash this morning. She is very severely critically injured, and my worry is with her severe brain injury, this may be a injury that she's not going to recover from because she's already meeting clinical brain death this soon and this early. If you want to be with her for a second, that'd be fine.
All rise. Oyez, oyez. Silence is commanded under the pain of imprisonment while the Honorable Judge of the Circuit Court of the County of York and the City of Poquoson is now sitting. All parties have been pleased to enter. Suits to prosecute or defend, motions or any other business come forward and ye shall be heard. Please be seated. This court shall come to order.
Good afternoon, everyone. All right, let's bring out Mr. Shepard. Thank you.
Please, the court. This is Mr. Shepard.
All right, Mr. Shepard, good afternoon, sir. Mr. Shepard was previously found guilty on his pleas of guilty of 2 counts of manslaughter, 1 count of maiming by DUI. Ms. Ma, any additional evidence outside of the victim impact statement?
No, sir, Your Honor.
Mr. Roberts, any additional evidence for the defense?
No, sir.
Okay, defense rest. Closing argument.
Thank you, Judge.
May it please the court. Your Honor, today is the day for the court to sentence the defendant for the choices that he made and the consequences of those choices dating back to April of 2019. The court has heard from the families of the victims, and in the case of Claire, from the victim herself. April is the month notated as Victim Rights Month, so the Commonwealth would ask the court to factor into its sentence the requests of the victims in this case. This young man had all the tools to make a better decision. He made different choices. Knowing everything that he knew from teachers, parents, the court system, he still made a different choice. And that choice resulted in the loss of 2 people, 2 of his friends, and a permanent disability of another. There are very real-world consequences that cannot be reversed, and it's time to assess the punishment. The Commonwealth would suggest to the court that the sentence should consider the weight and value of those human lives. And with that, I would submit to the court. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Small. Mr. Roberts.
I have counseled my client. He's fully aware that he faces prison time. But this is not a case, Judge, where he was roaring down the highway drunk. This is not a case where there was drag racing. This is not a case where there's prior record of this impulsive, lawless behavior. This is not a case where he didn't cooperate with the officers. If anything, his cooperation and his statements to the officers were the best evidence that the Commonwealth had in proving these cases against him. That's a reflection of the type of young man you have here. And I would ask you to take that into account as well. And in conclusion, I hear from a lot of people in the course of my day-to-day activities as defense counsel, how can you represent these people? How can you represent guilty people? It's a good question. And we answer, it's the system that's important. It's a part of our duty. From those to whom much is given, much is expected. I will tell you this today, Judge. I can represent this man because I believe every single thing I just said. And I believe it to be true. And I also believe, and I've been reluctant to ever say this to a court, you won't see him again. And it's not because he will drop into despair or alcoholism or addiction as a result of this. It's because he will prevail and he will succeed. And he will rise up to show this whole community, and especially the parents of these victims, that this is not a case where this person deserves to be shut off and the rest of society protected by his incarceration.
All right, Mr. Shepard, if you could please stand, sir. Mr. Shepard, the court had previously found you guilty of 2 counts of manslaughter and 1 count of maiming by DUI. Court's ready to proceed with sentencing. Is there anything you wish to say at this time regarding sentencing? Yes, sir. Any reason why the court should not now pronounce sentence? Yes, all right. Well, both counsel make very valid points. Let me say this. Is this a tragedy? Absolutely. Is it foreseeable? Absolutely. You mix a young person who shouldn't be driving to begin with because you weren't validly licensed, and that inexperience, and you throw on alcohol, which impairs and affects one's ability to react and act appropriately, and then the further distraction of texting with the phone. This is what should happen every single time. So this is what the court's going to do. Indictment 1, manslaughter of Jake Very. Court's going to sentence you to 10 years in prison. I'm going to suspend 6 years. Indictment 2, manslaughter of Eden Sadler. Court's going to sentence you to 10 years in prison with 6 years suspended. And the maiming of Claire Gordon by DUI, court's going to sentence you to 5 years in prison with 3 years suspended. That's a total of 25 years in prison with 15 years suspended for life, 10 years to serve. You'll get credit for any time that you've served up to this point, and they'll calculate that credit through the Department of Corrections. And at this time, you're back in the custody of the sheriff to fulfill your obligation and serve the 10 years that have been imposed.
Two beers, 2 thumbs, 2 seconds. Two beers, 2 thumbs, 2 seconds.
No. No.
2 beers, 2 thumbs, 2 seconds.
They're gonna kill me. I killed 2 people. Oh my gosh, no.
2 beers, 2 thumbs, 2 seconds.
My future is over. I can't do anything anymore. No.